We've been talking about how the process of picking a jury is proving difficult in such a high-profile trial, especially in a small town like Brunswick, Georgia. With a trial of this magnitude comes a lot of attention, both good and bad, but also stirs up interesting thoughts and questions about how our criminal legal system functions. It brings up the perfect opportunity to educate and inform, and who better to do that with than my legal panel of experts, Paul Henderson and Michael J. Moore. Okay, so making the case, we bring a lot of lawyers on the show to discuss various legal issues, and some have represented people that the community at large deem unsavory, unworthy of due process, right? So I get the why are you talking to so-and-so, and why do you care what they think? Listen, I've represented people in my career as a defense lawyer, and if it were up to these individuals, per their logic, I wouldn't be anchoring this show, right? But it's baffling to me. I get these questions often, and it still baffles me that people are incapable of separating what we do as attorneys from what our clients have been accused of. And I bring this up because I promise it definitely ties into what we've been talking about jury selection in this trial. But like some of these prospective jurors, there's a fear in the legal community of getting involved with problematic clients. Michael, I want to go to you first. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you're right, and yeah, I think it is. There's really no higher calling for a lawyer than to be willing to stand up on behalf of a client. Let's think about it maybe from another profession and say that, that one of these defendants in the Arbery case had been wounded, maybe by run over by one of the trucks that was chasing Mr. Arbery, let's say, and you were a doctor in the emergency room. You wouldn't say, well, this is that sorry guy that was chasing down Ahmaud down the street,
right,
so I'm not going to fix a broken leg. You would say, this is a patient. I've taken an oath to not do harm and to try to help patients, and I'm going to do that. Lawyers do the same thing. I mean, our job is to stand up, defend the Constitution, support the Constitution, make sure that everybody has access to those constitutional rights and guarantees, and one of those is to have representation. And so I get the question and I get the concern, and I'm wondering if maybe at some point I wasn't the subject of one of the questions you've gotten asked, there on the show in the past about why is this person on. But we do it because we believe in the Constitution. We take an oath to represent all kinds, and to not so much, our goal, I guess, is to make the system work, and our job is to make the system work. If you're a defense attorney, your job is to put the prosecution through the paces, make them prove their case, make them meet their burden, and worry less about your own personal judgment about your particular client.
Well, there was a tweet that I got last night in regards to an attorney that was on, and this was their concern, and they followed that up, that tweet, with another tweet saying, these lawyers for these murderers do not want a fair and impartial jury. They want a biased jury in their favor. Paul, why could that argument not be made for the prosecution as well?
Well, I mean, it just depends on which side you're standing on, and oftentimes those sides shift very quickly depending on the case and depending on the fact. And you know as well as I do that can happen in a heartbeat. Sometimes middle of your trial, where, especially from the prosecution's perspective, if you've got a victim that, as it turns out, was not a perfect victim and may have come with luggage or baggage themselves, I think beyond just a philosophical perspective, we really have to look at the facts and circumstances and remind ourselves that everyone is entitled for our system to work for representation in the courtrooms. To me, that seems more important rather than less when we're talking about criminal law and we're talking about folks that may not have the funds to afford a lawyer to represent them because they were a victim, that may not have the funds to represent themselves because they are charged with a case and with a crime. And for me, I take this debate personally. My mother was a public defender. Nobody clapped for me when I decided that I was going to be a prosecutor, but these types of conversations were the arguments that I had regularly, trying to come to a conclusion about what is best for our system to operate effectively. And I have very strong feelings about that system of representation being inclusive specifically for disenfranchised communities. And on the table where decisions get made that define public safety by determining sentencing and accountability and prosecution, I think it's very important that we have voices and faces that reflect the community that they're designed to serve. And so when I see tweets like that, and you and I both have been getting exposed to taking unpopular positions that we believe in, right or wrong, about R. Kelly, about people charged with crime, about people trying to advocate for themselves through our criminal justice system, I think at the core of it is an understanding that everyone needs representation in order for our system to work effectively. When those voices are silent, we are left with a system that does not serve the rest of society, and in particular, disenfranchised communities. I know I got all. Very.
No, you're good. You're good. Michael, everyone needs representation, but then you have, those that ask, well, why do you represent people that you know are guilty? That's the question, right? And for me, I'd answer that question by saying I don't actually care whether they're guilty or not. It's not my job to figure that out. The burden belongs to the prosecution. I'm making sure as a defense lawyer that they hold to their burden of proof to make sure that they're not using any corrupt ways of getting evidence, that they're not violating my client's constitutional rights, that police aren't violating my client's constitutional rights. And that's sort of the point of this show, right? We talk about wrongful convictions every week, and it's pretty much rooted in prosecutorial misconduct. And so explain for viewers the difference between factual guilt and legal guilt.
I think as a lawyer, you're probably less concerned with factual guilt because you're not making the call. You are there to make sure that the constitutional burdens that the state has or the prosecution has are met. And let me, I've hired lawyers in different capacities, as the U.S. attorney and then obviously practice. And people who have been a defense lawyer before make a better prosecutor, I think. People who have been a prosecutor make a better defense lawyer. And that's because you learn to think about and look at each other's side of the case. Maybe if you've been a defense lawyer and you decide you're going to be a prosecutor, maybe you carry with you some of the humanness that's still needed, and you don't see your job necessarily as a cause just to prove people guilty. Maybe if you're a prosecutor, it helps you because you think about things and make sure that you don't have cases of prosecutorial misconduct because you've argued those motions as a defense lawyer. And so you really make sure that your case is clean when you present it to the jury. So I think those things matter. And I think, again, our job as lawyers is to seek the truth, to seek justice, not to cast judgment ourselves on our clients or the people who happen to be sitting on the other side of the courtroom.
Veteran prosecutor and legal contributor Paul Henderson and former U.S. attorney and partner at Moore Hall in Atlanta, Michael J. Moore. Always a pleasure having you both. Thank you. For extensive trial coverage, remember, we're your go-to. We'll be following the latest developments every night right here on Making the Case and BNC.